Hey everyone, it's me, Dr. Whimsy for Broke Aristocrats, and today I'm talking about checking budgets. How often should you check your budget, and should you even have a budget? Well, there's been some discussion of late about whether or not budgets really work, whether or not we should even have budgets. I've definitely been looking at other people's videos about this subject. Living on a Dime is one of my favorite channels, and they have really moved away from budgeting, and instead of budgeting, they instead simply have made a commitment to just not buy things if you don't need them. If you need tomatoes, you go out and get tomatoes. You meal plan, you do what you have to do, and you don't spend money unless you need to spend money. And they have found that that system of just doing away with budgets altogether and not bothering to spend unless you need to spend, that system is really working for them, and I think that's great. You know, you have to find what system works for you. I personally, I like to do a budget, but I check my budget probably a couple times a week. This is what my budget is. If you go to Daddy on Duty, it's one of my favorite channels. It used to be called Gazelle Intense. His wife Jackie does a really great video showing people how to build their Excel budget, and that was the system that I used. Some things never change, or they don't change very often, like your mortgage, your rent, etc. But periodically things do change, and so for that reason it's probably a good idea, I think, to look at your budget as often as you can, whether it's once a day or once a week. That has been a system, like I said, that works for me. The 4 walls is something that I look at probably not as often as I do the frills, and that's because the 4 walls really don't change a lot. When I'm putting money in my account and when I'm getting my money organized, first and foremost, I'm looking at making sure those priorities get covered. And so for me, the priorities are my rent, both for my home and for my business. I have 2 rent locations. My groceries are part of my 4 walls. My Uber and my bus, because I don't drive, that's just a preference. It's not that I'm so broke I can't afford a car. It's just that I'll be honest with you, it's Los Angeles. I've seen a lot of nasty car crashes. I've been in a nasty car crash. So I would just rather jump in an Uber, and so I've budgeted for that. So transportation, my phone is my lifeline. I have a small private practice. Patients can call me directly on my cell phone. It's a real simple way of running my business. I try to keep my expenses down, so I do have a smartphone. It's a good quality smartphone. I bought it last year, and that's definitely part of my 4 walls. So is feeding my cat. That's one of my 4 walls. Other things you have to think about in terms of your 4 walls if you are in a business for yourself. I think of business expenses as a type of 4 walls, in the sense that if you are relying on your small business as a sole proprietor or whatever it is you're doing for money, if you need to spend money to keep your business up and running, then I definitely think it's fine to go ahead and put that in your 4 walls. An example would be if you are babysitting, or if you're gardening and you need equipment in order to do that job. By all means, go ahead and put that into your 4 walls. Things that change month to month that I definitely, when I go and look at my budget every month, it comes and goes. That can be things like clothes. For example, in the month of September, I went and I bought a couple of shirts, etc. And so that was extra for the month. But I like to go over once a month to get rid of things, add things, because aside from the 4 walls, my budget is definitely fluid. It definitely changes from month to month. what is non-essential, or what can I be kind of fluid with. Clothing definitely falls into that category. Fun money. Some months are going to be leaner than others, because I am in private practice. If business is slow, then I'm certainly not going to be taking money out of my four walls, but I am going to begin to reduce how much money goes towards things like fun money, going out to restaurants, buying clothes, even savings to some extent. For example, if I have an optimal month, then I have a set amount I want to put into my Roth IRA. But if times are lean, my first priority is to make sure that my four walls get covered, and then anything extra can go into savings and emergency fund. And then if anything's left over after that, it can be fun money. But there have been lean months when even my savings goals I'm not able to save as much as I would like. And that's just because, you have to, when you are in a small business, excuse me, or you're working for yourself, you have to think in terms of how things change from month to month. So that is me. That is what I do. I personally do like to have a budget. I like to have a working budget. I like to play with my budget. And what I like about my budget is making sure that it's fluid. Number one, starting with securing the four walls, because I do have an inconsistent income because of that private practice. So I first secure my four walls, and then the things that are add-ons I prioritize depending upon what I really need for that month. And the other thing that, just to summarize, was things that keep my business up and running that I cannot live without. My business needs them. I consider that a necessity, not a priority. If you're really struggling, if you're really having a hard time coming up with money to pay rent, then see what you can delay for the following month, or see if you can get by buying something less expensive, putting it on hold for the following month, or being able to get it used, depending upon what the purchase is. I've found I've been able to get a lot of things for my business on eBay, believe it or not, whether it's used furniture or some other kind of equipment for my private practice, Craigslist, eBay, etc. And that's been really helpful in terms of starting my business. I have, like I said, a sole proprietorship. I work for myself. It's a very small, simple private practice. I do combine the budgets. That might not be working for somebody else. Just figure out how you want to do it. Other people will have a separate budget for their businesses. I think that's fine. Just find whatever system works for you. So that's pretty much all I have in terms of, why I budget, and how I budget, and how I organize my budget as somebody who runs a small business. And if you're somebody whose life is a lot more, if your income coming in every month is more stable, then you might not have to do it that way, but that's the way that has worked for me. And personally, I am someone that needs a budget. The point that living on a dime made, and I think it was a valid point, was that sometimes you might budget, say, $250 a month for groceries, but you may not actually need to even spend that much. So it's better to just spend only when you need to spend. I think that that's fine. I have an approximate budget of $250 a month for my groceries. That's because, as I've said in previous videos, I felt like that was a good number for me to get the best nutrition, and I invest heavily in my nutrition, and so that was the most frugal number I could come with while getting optimal nutrition. I may tweak it again, though. I think it's going to be interesting for the month of October. I'm going to see if I can't have the most nutrient dense budget for the most nutrient-dense diet for the month of October with the least amount of money. Wouldn't that be interesting? I should probably do a video on that. All right, I want to thank you for watching this quick video. Whether or not I have a budget for my business and how I organize it. Hopefully it'll give you some ideas, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.